Now that we are finished with our frame, we are ready to start coloring in our actual picture. For this project, we are going to create a watercolor crayon resist, which means first, we are going to use crayons to emphasize. In art means draw focus to certain parts of our picture. And then for the ground and the sky, we're going to use watercolor. If you have mountains in the background like me, you also use watercolor for that. So one more time, we are using watercolor for the sky, mountains, and ground. We are using crayons for any details that you want to draw your eye to. So you and one person in your community, you should be in the foreground. So anything that's in the foreground will be colored. Other details that might be in what's called the middle ground can be colored in too. So again, what's in the front, that's called the foreground. Everyone say that, foreground. Anything that is kind of like in the middle is in the middle ground. And anything that's like way back, like the sky and the ground, that is the background. Okay, so just like our markers, we can use our crayons the same way. We can outline and fill in. We can overlap. We can create patterns. We can stipple. So there's lots of different things that you can do. One additional thing you can do is you can blend. So you might see a little bit of blending in mine, not much though. Because with markers, we can't really blend too much. But crayons, they do a really nice job blending. And what's really fun about this is because the crayons are waxy, they're made from color and wax, it will still show up even when we use watercolor. Okay, boys and girls, so the first thing we're gonna do is we're going to get a crayon container like this, in a blue container, and this is for skin color. So for your skin color, first you want to pick out a color that is as close to your skin as possible. And you can test it out on the back of your paper. So I think this is as close to my skin as I can find. And you also need to find a color that's a little bit darker than your skin color. So this is one that's a little darker, and here's another that's a little bit darker. So it's up to me what I want to choose to do. Maybe I'll use this. Okay. The first thing you do is you take that darker crayon and you go around your face like this. And my husband, he's a little tanner than me, so I'm going to use a darker color. So first I go around the face, around the ears, around the neck, and then I go over the nose. I can also go around the mouth, around the eyes. And I don't want to have like a perfect line. I also don't want to press too hard. So this is how it should look when I start. Okay, now I'm going to fill it in with this color. And it's going to naturally blend with some of the darker color that I added. So it's important with this darker color, you don't press hard. In art, a really important skill is controlling your pressure. So if you press hard, you get a darker color. If you press light, you get a lighter color. So you want to control your pressure. Very important in art. For this, I can use a harder pressure. I just want to fill the whole thing in. And now I'm adding this color just right on top, making it a little bit darker. So again, if you can't find your correct skin color, you can always blend different colors on top of each other to create your skin color. Okay, and now I'm going to continue with myself. Remember, you outline with the darker color and then fill it in with your skin color. Okay, so now I'm going to receive a purple box of crayons, and I'm going to grab a pink. I just have a little bit right here, and I'm going to add just a little bit to my cheeks. This is optional. Okay, and now I'm ready to do my hair. So for hair, my husband has brown, basically close to black hair, but I will be using black and brown. So you are allowed to use the skin color crayons for your hair. So I have brown here, but now I need to try to find black. There you go, so this is black. Okay, so everyone has two colors in their hair. You should have a lighter color and a darker color. Even blonde, you want to find a yellow and a brown. So first you're going to lay down your darker color and you're going to create your hair texture. So if you have curly hair, if you have straight hair, whatever your hair looks like, you're adding that texture. So it's just lines basically. And then now I'm going to color it in with this brown. And don't be afraid to take some of the paper off if you need to. So peel a little bit back. And then I just use both colors for the eyebrows. Okay, so now I'm ready for my hair. You use brown for the lines, and then you color it in with the yellow. For my eyebrows, I'm going to use brown first and then yellow on top. So now I'm ready for eye color. Just try to find something that best matches your eyes. My husband and I both have hazel eyes. So hazel eyes are brown and green. Okay, so now for your lips. If you don't want your lips to be pink, you don't have to. I'm just going to draw a quick example back here. So if you want your lips to look natural, just grab a brown, maybe a brown like this. This is called mahogany. It has some red. It's like a reddish brown. And then you can add just a little bit of either pink or red, but not too much. And this is how you can get just a natural lip color. But you can make your lips whatever color you want. Okay, so I'm gonna flip this back. I like having like a reddish pink lip. And then you can't see my husband's lips. You only see his teeth and his tongue. So for this, we can use the same techniques we used with markers. I'm just going to start by outlining and filling in. If you have a lot to fill in, you can always use a side crayon to fill it in. So maybe I can use this. I'm using just the side. You can also add other colors on top, overlapping and blending. Okay, and then now I'm going to outline and fill in my outfit over here. I'm outlining with the harder pressure and I'm just going to color it in normally. Okay, so remember, we are not allowed to scribble scrabble. You can always add other colors on top to make it look a little smoother. If you have a white shirt on, you can always take some gray and just lightly outline it. This just helps to show the texture. Okay, so now for my dog, his little nose is black, but I'm actually going to use gray and just a little bit of black. Then his little mouth area is also black, so I'm just gonna add a little bit of gray and then add a little bit of black. And then I'm going to pick out some browns that match his color. So this is one. So I'm gonna use some brown, go around his fur. I can also show the texture of his fur, just like I did with hair. Here it's a little darker. Now I'm going to add this on top. And now I'm going to add some more brown. Maybe I can add a little bit of yellow on top. His fur is kind of golden. Alright, so now I'm done with my dog, myself, my husband. Now I'm going to color in maybe my trees, my sun, my butterfly, and my flowers. Everything else, I'm gonna leave it to the watercolor. Now, even for clouds, even though they're white, I can trace them with gray a little bit and then color it in with white. That way I know for sure the paint isn't gonna get to it. You can also experiment and see how colors blend. You can always try to use the white on top of your colors and see if they show up. And don't forget, boys and girls, you need to make sure you put your skin color crayons back in this container. Do not confuse the skin color crayons with your colors. Now for trees, I can do the stipling technique, which is making a mark over and over with a darker color and then using a lighter color to color it in. Instead of using the tip, even though there's not really tip anymore, you can use the back of your crayon and do this. So this is not scribbling. You're focusing on trying to create the texture for the trees. You can't do this for everything, but for something like trees, yeah, you can do this. You can also use the side of your crayon to color it in. There's lots of things you can do to create texture. You don't just have to color things in normally. So when I'm looking at your project, I will be looking for crayon and marker techniques. So for my tree, I'm going to make some lines like this. I'm going to maybe take some black and make some lines. This shows the texture. This shows how something feels. Just going to make sure this is black. I'm going to redraw on this little animal home. And now I'm going to color this in brown. I used a harder pressure for the lines, and I'm using a lighter pressure to color it in. Same thing over here. Just gonna color these in. You might not be able to see the texture as much because these trees are further away, but I could still add some lines. Okay, and then now I'm ready to color in my flowers and my butterfly. and now I am all finished coloring in my project and I am ready for watercolor.